Welcome to Winning Wall Street's Money. Please take this moment now with helping me. Click here, subscribe. Next, click this bell. Next, ensure to click all. This helps you receive a notification when I posted my next videos. Next, click this thumbs up button after every time you watch my video. This pushes it up in the engagement ratings and means it will be suggested to more people, therefore is likely to get more views to my YouTube channel. I really appreciate that. I also have a Patreon page. Click show more. Scroll down. This link here, my Patreon, click on it. Select the membership. With this membership, you'll get access to all this information. Very good content. Tuesday, October 21st, 11:31 a.m. New York time. Discussing currencies. The time frame we'll be looking at is where the candles are weekly. Since it's Thursday, the current candle is not completed yet till after the currency markets close tomorrow. Let's look at comparison of currencies against the US dollar, because the US dollar is comprised of several currencies. There's a lot of price action going on. And let's see if the pairs are following the ones that are in the US dollar. I'll explain that in detail as we get there, but look at the US dollar index on the weekly chart. The past weeks, we built a consolidation up here, these three candles up here, and the three highs of them have these wicks on top, representing a supply zone, a level where there were sellers. So that's telling us, again, there was weakness up there and sellers were coming in. So one should expect that we're going to have a breakdown. It came this week. This current candle is not done yet. So we would have to wait till that's done tomorrow to get a better idea if that trend will be going down, continuing, and if it's going to be on weakness. But right now, we could definitely, again, identify this big green candle was an impulse move up on strength, and it broke above this consolidation area. So we may see actually the dollar go lower, but on weakness, and that would give the opportunity to look for reload on the long side. But between now and then, there are several trade ideas we could be making on the currencies inside there. Let's go look at the major currencies in the US dollar. And we'll look at those on the futures exchange. And then we'll go to the Forex exchange. The futures exchange has different financial instruments. One of the groups is currencies. So we'll look at the currencies first in the futures market, like I said, that are in the US dollar. The largest currency weighted average in the US dollar is the euro. Yep. So look at this. This trend was down. We came to the midpoint. I'm going to zoom out there. This huge candle, I labeled the midpoint. We came into that. That's good. That was a clue. When it went down there, we may have a pause or reverse, and we did. That red candle there did not close below it, but it did close red, middle, lower, low, lower, high. That was not a reverse yet, but it was down there on weakness. The next candle, the green candle last week, also tested that midpoint, but did not close below it. Middle, lower, 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 high than that prior week. So that trend was still down. It's just the two candles, reverse colors, and also showing that midpoint was demand zone. So one would expect that we may have a reversal, and that happened this week. So the trade idea would have been to buy, to be long when we broke above the high of this green candle. And that's what happened. Yep, you could have done that for a day trade or swing trade. But again, we're seeing right now the euro is reversing, gaining strength against the US dollar here. Japanese yen, well, still lower, low, lower, high. This strength, nope, it's weak against the US dollar. It's one of the weakest currencies against the US dollar in the index of the US dollar. So we have this big impulse move down. And now we're having demands on buyers stepping in here. So one should identify if this week's candle, I'm going to zoom in, if this week's candle closes above the close of last week, that could be a potential reversal signal. Reversal signal, why? So we close down here, not where this tail is, the bottom of the body is where we close. So if we close this week inside this body, we might have a retracement of this bar. Doesn't mean the thing's going to the moon, just means more likely a retracement. And then we'll see how it goes up, 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 up. That's a potential trade idea too if you want to be bullish on retracement. And the third largest currency in the US dollar is the British pound. Yeah, that's already made a reversal several weeks ago. Again, that green demand zone was a clue that we might be reversing. And when we zoom in here, we did. We had that red candle that tested that demand zone, rejected from closing below there, closed above it. That following week, we had the yellow inside candle. It was holla body, so that means it's bullish. And one would wait for a breakout above it. That break above it came in last week to be trading bullish. And look at the current trend. It's going up, purple line, higher highs, higher lows. So that is gaining strength against the US dollar. It's doing better against the US dollar than the euro and the yen. Again, let's look at these three candles or three grids. Yep. So clearly, here's the euro, the yen, and the pound. Yep, the pound is doing stronger against the US dollar. Let's go forward. Look at the fourth largest currency in the US dollar, which is the Canadian dollar, neighbors to the north. Their trend is up, higher high, higher low. Same thing. We had this demand zone, which was a key zone level of buyers stepped in, and they stepped in there again. Higher highs, higher lows. Now, the current week candle is suspicious. Small body, large tail on the top, small body there. Again, this is not done yet. We won't know till the close of tomorrow, but it's inside the supply zone, this red area where there have been sellers before. So I want to expect there may be people that are in the position of closing out their position, as well as new traders that are coming maybe bearish. Yeah. Watch crush. And here, this is a big supply zone. If we go up there, that's already labeled. Swiss franc, one of the safe haven currencies. Look at that. The current trend's up. Higher high, higher low. Excuse me. I apologize. Swiss franc, US dollar, Swiss franc are two of the safe haven currencies. So apparently, people are deciding to go from the US dollar to Swiss franc. Higher highs, higher lows, current trends up. Yep. And as well, we also the British pound are going to. So that's a clue. There are certain people that go into take their capital currency and put in other currencies. Again, we just saw British pound and Swiss franc. So right now, this looks like a retracement. It became now that key number, that gray horizontal line. It's a retracement. Got a lot of resistance up there. We'll see how it goes. Australian dollar. Yep. Look at that wedge I built, drew the purple lines, and inside was a coil tighter, tighter, tighter. Broke above it. So the current trend is going to the upside of the Australian dollar. And right now it's on that significant number, that big round number, 75. 75. Yep. I'll label that different. There we go. So we're coming up to what was a supply zone of sellers back up here. And also that big candle, I drew the midpoint back then, if you recall, that gray horizontal line. Yep. So a lot of supply up there. Oh, again, maybe we'll continue pushing higher, but right now it's having problems staying above that 75 Australian dollar. Remember, Australia is heavily commodity-based country, nation. Yep. So let's zoom in and again identify what we see here on strength and weakness. British pound, strength. Canadian dollar, strength. And the Australian and Swiss franc, strength. But right off the bat, that Canadian dollar has been the strongest one here. Canadian dollar. So some policy they have is having them go up. But again, look where it's at right now. It's in a supply zone. Use caution. Use caution. So let's look at the currency pairs in the euro, yen, and the pound. And we want to see, again, we already identified these three currencies on top, how they're performing against the US dollar. But we want to see several currencies against those underlying currencies, the euro, the yen, and the pound, and see if they're performing better than the other ones as well too. Yep, so look notify here. The pound, the euro is doing retracement, the yen's weak still, and the pound's doing a strong retracement. So let's first look at the pairs in the Forex market of the euro. We already spoke about the euro US dollar. Let's go to the euro yen. Wow. So currently for the week, it's red. That's weak for the euro, good for the pound. Has a high till on the top, small body. Look at this big green candle I labeled the midpoint. So if this declines, prices start going down, that's giving strength to the yen. Right now, we know the yen is very weak against the US dollar. And we know the euro was pretty weak against the dollar. So this is the battle between these two. Very interesting to see if we come to this midpoint, test it and break below it. But the probability is this was a huge move up. This might be short-term price action. So the trend still looks like it's gunning to the upside. Excuse me. I was going to sneeze. Didn't happen yet. Wow. The euro pound. Yeah, the price is declining here, giving strength to the pound. That's not surprising. We saw the pound super strong against the dollar, and we've seen the pound super strong against the euro. Go pound. Yep. Lower lows, lower highs. And we also saw the Canadian dollar real strong against the US dollar. Now we're looking at the euro Canadian dollar. Wow, Canadian dollar super strong against the euro. Declining prices here, giving strength to the Canadian dollar. So we got documentation here now. Factually, we know the Canadian dollar is gaining strength against the US dollar, and Canadian dollar giving strength against the euro. So Canada, the currency is doing very well. Maybe check their stock indexes. Right now, it's an inside candles for the week. It's already Thursday. It hasn't broken above the higher low there. That would be interesting to see if we're going to have a reversal there. The euro, Swiss franc, again, safe haven currency, Swiss franc. Look at this swing low. That was the low for the year, that yellow horizontal line. Last week, we broke below it, rejected it, and closed above it. And now, again, we're trading below it. But the week's not done yet. But again, it's leaning bearish bias. So this declining price is giving strength to the Swiss franc against the euro. The euro is having problems. Yep, the trend is down. And the euro Australian dollar, declining in price, giving strength to the Aussie. So takeaway is the euro is weak against many currencies. Even though we see a retracement here, this retracement here is giving strength to the US dollar against the euro. Majority of them are, yep, looking weak. That 1 euro, I would not be bullish euro. I'm still bearish euro. All right, let's go on to the next major pairs, which is the second biggest currency in the US dollar, the yen, Japanese yen. US dollar, yen, we already spoke about that. Yep, the dollar is super strong. The yen very weak against the US dollar. Look at that significant price level it's at. Let's take that out so you see it again. All the way back for a long time. That's a swing high. Let's put this back 5 years. There we go, swing high. It's testing a swing high from 5 years ago. That was the high giving strength to the US dollar against the euro. Against the yen. The euro, yen, we already spoke about that. Pound, yen. Yeah, wow, same thing. Going higher, giving strength to the pound. Got that. Huge till on top. It's not done yet, but I got the look. Let me take off that yellow horizontal line. That was the high of the year. Already took that out. Zoom out a little bit and got the midpoint label. So if there's a retracement, maybe that's the place where go, and that might be a buy signal, depending if it's going to reverse off of it. Excuse me. Canadian dollar, Japanese yen. Well, that was the yellow horizontal line was the high of the year. Last week we broke above that. Again, that was giving strength to the Canadian dollar against the yen. So I didn't label that, but That's a midpoint right there. So again, Canadian dollar very strong against the yen, Canadian dollar very strong against the euro, Canadian dollar very strong against the US dollar. Yep, Canada's doing well on the currency. Swiss franc, Japanese yen, two safe haven currencies. The price is going higher in favor of the Swiss franc and higher high, higher low green. But huge impulse moves there last week on several of these you saw. And the Aussie, Japanese yen, both Pacific Rim. Look at that. Took out the swing high of the year, remove that yellow horizontal line. And this is going higher in favor of the Australian dollar. Let's do the last pair. That would be the British pound. British pound. Now, if you've been watching my past videos on the currencies, you're well aware I've been mentioning the strength in the Canadian dollar for weeks and months. That should not be a surprise. That was the trend to be following. So now we're looking at the pound to US dollar. Again, the current trend is up in favor of the British pound. Pound, Japanese yen, already mentioned that. Euro pound, already mentioned that. Look, declining strength for the pound. Pound, Canadian dollar. So declining prices here in favor of the Canadian dollar. But now we have a reversal. Why? Because we had a lower low here. And that green candle did make a lower low, lower high. Just shy of taking out the low of the year. Yep, this yellow horizontal line is the low of the year. But this week, look at that. True reversal. Made a higher high, higher low than the prior week. It's not done yet. But that's a reversal. So if this closes green above the close of that body, and this low stays above that, that's a trend reversal. That would be, again, stronger, or be the strength of the Canadian dollar against the pound. And pound, Swiss franc, huge consolidation. Huge. Yep. Still below that midpoint. Just retracements here. Stuck between that price level. Pound, Australian dollar. Wow, strength to the Australian dollar against the pound as well too. The trend is down, lower lows, lower highs. And this gray area has been a demand zone, resistance support level multiple times for several years here. So this year, originally down here, it was acting as resistance because it went up there, retracing it. And then from here, it broke up above it, making it as a floor, demand zone. Now we're back, coming back inside that range. So again, this declining is giving strength to the Australian dollar. It's the pound. So these are potential price points to see if we have things occur for trade ideas. So if you like the content I'm showing, how about clicking that like button below? If you'd like to get notification for the next video, you could click the bell and subscribe. Thank you, as always, for spending just a little bit of your time with me. Let me know what you thought about this video, and please let me know what you want to see next. If you got value from this video, if this was helpful, then please consider sharing a small monetary donation to my channel by going below and clicking on my PayPal link. You can leave a small tip. If you don't want to share financial support, no problem. Just click the like and subscribe.